Portland, Oregon, the chill of October mixed with the electric hum of preseason basketball. The crowd inside Moda Center was small but restless, waiting for glimpses of what could define the season ahead. The Golden State Warriors, a dynasty searching for renewal, faced the Portland Trail Blazers in a game that would somehow mean more than its preseason label suggested. Jonathan Kuminga stepped onto the floor with a different aura. Gone was the quiet, uncertain young forward of previous years. In his place was a player playing with conviction, shoulders square, eyes alive, voice louder. Every move carried intent, every drive had a message. For a team seeking new energy, Kuminga was the spark. But that spark would soon turn into fire. Late in the first half, Kuminga drove to the rim with power, absorbing contact, expecting a whistle that never came. Frustration exploded. Words flew toward veteran referee Rodney Mott, and within seconds, a technical foul became an ejection. The arena buzzed in disbelief. A preseason ejection? For a young player fighting for respect and minutes? It seemed disastrous. But for Steve Kerr, standing calmly on the sidelines, it wasn't a problem. It was a sign of life. "I loved the fire," Kerr said afterward. "I loved the passion. I kind of liked the ejection, actually. JK was terrific tonight." To most, that sounded strange, a coach praising a player who'd just been tossed from a meaningless October game. But to Kerr, the emotion mattered more than the minutes. He saw hunger, aggression, and confidence, qualities the Warriors desperately needed after a long, uncertain summer. Kuminga's stat line, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in just 18 minutes, barely hinted at his impact. It was the energy he brought that stood out. The way he crashed the glass, chased down loose balls, and sprinted in transition. His presence was loud, his purpose louder. "He got fouled," Kerr insisted. It was frustration. But he was right. He was getting hit, it was physical. The way he ran the floor, the way he rebounded, that's the JK who can really help our team. After the game, Kuminga's voice carried both humility and pride. "It means a lot," he said when told of his coach's words. "Knowing people have my back, that pushes me not to let them down. I just have to keep playing hard, keep competing every moment." Those words felt heavier than they sounded. Just months earlier, Kuminga's relationship with the organization had been fragile. His agent had publicly questioned Kerr's use of him. Trade rumors, tension, uncertainty, all of it hung in the air. But now, there was clarity. There was connection. The Warriors, a team long defined by unity, seemed to have found it again. As training camp unfolded, Kerr's praise for Kuminga became part of a larger story, a story of renewal. With Draymond Green resting, Jimmy Butler sidelined by an ankle sprain, and Moses Moody dealing with a calf injury, new names were stepping forward. Among them, rookie Will Richard, a second-round pick out of Florida. Richard started for the first time that night, playing 29 minutes with calm confidence that belied his rookie status. He scored 13 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, and played both ends with quiet intelligence. "Will's good," Kerr said. "He really knows how to play. He's in the right spots, active defensively, sees the game well. Knocked down his threes. We're really excited about him." For Richard, those words meant validation. The 22-year-old had spent years honing his craft in college, far from the spotlight. Now, in one night, he'd earned the trust of one of the NBA's most respected coaches. "I've been asking a lot of questions," Richard said. "I just want to be on the same page as everyone. We've got a vet team, I need to catch up." Kerr smiled when asked if Richard might see real minutes this season. "If you're on the roster," he said, "there's always a path. I won't hesitate to play him. I already trust him." That trust, that tone, echoed something deeper. The Warriors weren't just preparing for another season. They were rediscovering their identity, built on development, connection, and belief. Inside the locker room, the atmosphere was light. Kuminga joked with teammates. Richard sat quietly, smiling. Kerr's words hung in the air, not as a lecture, but as reassurance. "I thought JK was terrific," Kerr repeated. I love the fire. Fire. The same element that once defined the Warriors' dynasty at its peak. Steph's fearless shots, Draymond's barking energy, Klay's calm killer instinct. For a while, that fire had dimmed under the weight of age, contracts, and change. But on a random preseason night in Portland, it flickered back to life through the passion of a 23-year-old forward who refused to stay silent. As the team packed up to leave, Kuminga looked different. Focused. Lighter. The ejection had not broken him, it had freed him. I just feel like my game has slowed down, he said. I'm seeing everything. I'm playing at my own pace. For the Warriors, that pace might just be the rhythm they'd been searching for. The long season ahead would test that. The Lakers awaited on opening night, a reminder that the West never sleeps, that every misstep can echo into May and June. But for now, in the quiet hum of an emptying arena, Golden State's journey felt new again. A spark had become fire. A team once questioned had found belief. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Jonathan Kuminga, ejected, emotional, and fearless, had become the symbol of that rebirth. Despite a rocky offseason filled with uncertainty around Jonathan Kuminga, Golden State has managed to put the pieces together just in time to chase another championship. After months of negotiations, the Warriors finally locked in Kuminga with a new 2-year deal. That move not only ended the contract drama but also opened the door for fresh additions around their legendary trio Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. Golden State wasted no time, signing veteran forward Al Horford, sharpshooter Seth Curry, defensive ace DeAnthony Melton, and the ever-reliable Gary Payton too. With those names, the Warriors are signaling one thing: they're not done competing. But there's still one position catching everyone's attention: point guard depth. And that's where a familiar name enters the conversation: Russell Westbrook. Reports from BetUS show that the Warriors currently have the fourth best odds, plus 300, to sign the former MVP, sitting just behind the Kings, Rockets, and Mavericks. Westbrook, now 36, proved last season in Denver that he still has plenty left in the tank, averaging 13 points, 6 assists, and nearly 5 rebounds per game while bringing intensity and leadership off the bench. So, could we see Russell Westbrook join forces with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green in the Bay? It's still unlikely for now, especially after the Warriors' latest signings. But if Westbrook stays on the market once the season starts, don't be surprised if Golden State reconsiders, especially if depth becomes an issue. For now, the Warriors remain one of the top threats in the Western Conference, aiming to make another deep run this time, with experience, hunger, and maybe, just maybe, another former MVP in the mix.
The Golden State Warriors offseason just took a surprising twist, and Steve Kerr isn't making things any clearer. After signing veteran big man Al Horford, the Warriors' lineup picture looks more complicated than ever.